G'day, VW here, how you doing? Today's video is we're still working on the Baja and we fixing all the rust. So after driving around in the Baja a bit, really a fun vehicle, I decided to take it to the next level. Just because it was an old Beetle, it had quite a lot of rust spots on it and it was a bit tatty. So what I wanted was just to make sure that I could stop any further rust and just so that it would last us for many years to come. So through the local club, the Volkswagen Club of Western Australia, I met Dave Moore, who's a chap that does welding and restoring of vehicles. And Dave did an absolute fantastic job on this. But let's start at the beginning. So he first asked me to strip the car down before bringing it to him. So you'll see here we've taken the fenders off, taken all the windows and that out. Side windows, we've taken all the seats out just so that it's easier access and saves him some time on his side. But here I am loading it up onto a trailer, and this is the car before Dave got his hands on it. Just from the other side you can see some rust down in the wheel well, behind the wheel, bottom of the doors, just around the bonnet. The back's not too bad. Again, it's not too bad on these sides here, and that's just the fenders inside. You can see we've stripped down the doors and the dash and everything else. So when I got to Dave, he had quite a good look at it, and you can see this is one of the fenders, where that's actually the bolt hole where you bolt the fender onto the main body, and it's completely rusted away. There's not even a piece of steel there anymore. This is further down that same fender, and you can also just see the rust has just attacked it and actually torn it apart completely. So this is a repair that Dave's doing. So he's put in a new piece of steel, cut the old piece out, and you can see his welds there. And moving on, then you can see once it's all been ground and smoothed out, and really it's a great job. Here's the car when it was returned to me, and you can see the front fender there. The red paint is just red oxide that Dave put on just so that it won't rust again where it's been repaired. The next area he focused on were the doors, and you can see the bubbles of rust there just at the bottom of the door. With the door open, that's the corner, so the water must have been running down inside the door and blocked the drain holes, and that front corner is rusting out. So that's all the rust cut out and a fresh piece of steel welded in, and the welds ground smoothly. Again, another section of the door where the bottom of the door was actually rusting out, and that whole corner has been replaced, welded in, patch welds in, and ground smooth. That's how it starts. You can see Dave's just sandblasted it there. You can just see the rust pitting right through till you actually got holes. And again, after sandblasting some of the holes, you can just see the pitting. So the bottom of the doors are all cut and fresh metal installed. So this shot here, you can just see down the bottom of the doors, wherever that red oxide primer is, that's where fresh pieces of steel have been welded in. So moving on to the rear quarter panel, just above where the running board goes. You can just see the water must have been sitting in that quarter panel and has rusted through the outer skin. So with the paint cleaned off, that's what we were left with. Just another shot, you can just see it's absolutely rusted through there. And there was a bit of bubbling you could see from the paint, but it didn't look anything like what we found when the paint was taken off. So Dave has cut that whole section out, and you actually can see that there's rust on the inner panel as well. Just you can see that whole part of the heater channel is just about disintegrated. So the water must have been just collecting there and sitting there and rusted right through. So the first thing to do was cut out that rust till we had good material. Dave made a patch panel and welded that in. He then had to make another patch panel. Just this is the door jamb where the door closes. Welded that in. Again, the good thing about Dave is that he covers all these weld internally as well, so it just stops that rusting. So there's always a coating on everything. So here you can just see the work's been coated on the inside faces. Dave's then made a panel for the outside, and you can see the spot welds at the bottom, like the factory would have had it. And then he's actually butt welded that upper section all the way along, where the two pieces of steel come together, so it looks smooth as though it's all one panel. And here's the final product when it came back to me, all welded up with red oxide primer on it. Moving on to the wheel wells, and this is a typical place for these Super Beetles to rust. Again, the water goes down, I think it's probably down the windscreen and ends up here, as well as water and that being flicked up from the road by the tyre. On VW it was rusted in the same spot. Again, just cutting out the outer skin, and unfortunately the rust always tends to be worse than it looks initially. So that's cleaning up to see what's actually happening on the inner panel. So there Dave's made and welded in a panel onto the inner skin. Again, just sealant on the internal panels, even though you'll never see it again. It just shows good workmanship and rust prevention for the future, that's all sealed now from rusting again. And there's the outer panel made, the spot welds along the bottom and the continuous weld along the top. And once it's all sanded down and made neat, you'll never know it's been repaired. And that's the patch now with the red oxide primer again, once it's complete and when the vehicle was returned to me. So moving on, again this is the wheel well but on the other side. Same story, where the vehicle rusts, water probably coming down inside from the windscreen, or you can see down the side of the door there. Again, just the extent of the rust. So cutting away the outer skin until you find good metal, and the inner skin is rusted away as well. So here Dave's made the patch panel and welded in the inner skin, sealing off that inner skin and inside. And once again a panel is made. You can see it's been done in a few different pieces and then all welded up. And then the last photo is just again with the red oxide primer and how it's been returned to me. So yeah, from what you can see, Dave cut out all the rust, all the nasty bits, giving me peace of mind, good preparation work, so that there should be no more rust after that. Alright, thanks for watching. Take care, God bless. Thanks again for watching, and be sure to like, share, subscribe, and leave me any comments.